Hello, everybody. I'm doing this again. Let me see if I know how to turn it off, though. Okay, yes, I do. So what I'm going to do is, like what I did last week, is I'll broadcast the video that I uploaded about the art show. I'm going to play it on this channel. But before I do, I'm curious to see. I was at my home page. How do I get to my home page? Home page. Here, my channel. Okay. I was over here and I saw this girl, Amy Slayton, is apparently getting married. Let me see. When they have those suggested videos, I don't follow Amy Slayton, but I've watched her video occasionally. See, these are some of my favorite people: Molly Golightly, Emily Pound, All for One, One for All. These are women I follow. They're all women. Screen share, I think I was looking up a video how to. But anyway, let me look up. Amy Slayton is not a person that I follow. The women I follow on, the people I follow on YouTube are usually women around my age because I can identify with them and stuff. So, okay, my wedding makeup, which means she's getting married, which that's great. She's a young girl. Obviously, she has a weight problem. That's not what her show is about, but I guess she has a lot of followers in spite of, not fitting the norm of what's considered
Writing's
attractive.
not that easy.
Oops,
but
sorry about
Grammarly
that.
can help.
I'm going to jump to.
This
But I'm
sentence
curious
is
because she's getting
grammatically
married.
correct.
So. I mean, that's great if she found someone. Let me turn this down. It's kind of loud.
Hey y'all, it's me. And I
Yes,
just
she does
did
makeup
this makeup
videos.
look. Yes, I have my engagement ring on because this is my wedding look.
Yeah, there's love for everyone in the world.
But
I'm more curious to know when she met the guy
I might
because
not wear them on my wedding day, but
although I don't follow her, I do occasionally look. She's got 113,000 subscribers. That's more than even my most popular channel, which is the sewing channel, which I actually haven't uploaded to in a while. I wonder at what point she met this guy. That's her doggy. um. No, she doesn't say where she met him, so I don't. She's blind. Here she talks about her blindness. Anyway, I was just curious, Her little doggy. All right, so that's her. Okay, well, anyway, I was going to go to my channel. I'll look at her later because I really wanted to show. Yeah, Amberlynn Reed is another one. I mean, there's several channels where we're girls that are much higher than average weight, and they're doing well. They have followers, they have haters, of course, too. And as a matter of fact, it seems sometimes. Oh, sorry about that. This is another girl I follow. She likes to show her operations. She had an operation. Okay, sorry, off on a tangent. I could surf for hours on YouTube and just watch all different kind of people. But okay, so I uploaded the second video. I'm just going to run that now. Or, of course, if you want to see it better, go over to that channel. Yanni's Art Exhibit.petitpois.com. www.yanni's. Okay, I'm going to step away for a while. I'll be back. .petitpois.com. Eyes and jaws, and this is where I started noticing that correlation between the eye and the jaws. There was the focus on the eyes and the jaws, and you see that also again, different forms of eyes and jaws, but it's eyes and mouth, eyes and jaws. See, eye and mouth, again, he's focusing on two eyes and a mouth or a jaw in all of these. And then they begin to convert into imprisoned eyes and imprisoned faces. That one must have been one of his later works, because you can tell that this the idea was more developed. Look at it, nails, and they're red, and you have orange now. A lot of black and red, no yellow in this one, but you have orange, which is a combination of yellow and red. So it could be the blood merging with the light, and nails upon nails upon nails upon nails. And as we get later, he gets more and more nails, and more bent. Some of them are bent, some are straight. It's no longer just one or two, and glass poking inward, but the 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 theme is repeated over and over with this inward injuries, imprisonment. Here there's just one. There's the face. You can still see the face, but there's one missing. The extra eye, which is almost always in all his other works. There are two eyes. Here, for some reason, there's one. Now, again, some of these might have been when he was just beginning to experiment with certain ideas. Oh, I'm sorry about that.
A mouth that's imprisoned. And then on top of the mouth being imprisoned, there's more imprisonment. And could he have maybe been implying that this was a sort of a coffin, a crypt, and then some definitely more developed than others. Here's one maybe earlier. This one I believe we looked at earlier. So I'd really love to get, sorry about the noise. I'll probably have to edit that out. Here's a very, very well-developed one with all the nails and the coffin. I think we went over this one here. And then it's dawning on me that, each element, each main element is a person in his life, as well as a self-portrait of himself. Yanni had a beard. He had a very full beard and mustache, and was, hairy, kind of hairy. He had a lot of hair on his head. And of course, we don't know at what time. I think this was probably done in the 90s. So he certainly had a lot more hair then. So on the one hand, you see him, you see his face, and then the elements of the face are pieces of his life or people in his life. What successful artists do, and what I think Yanni was able to achieve, they set up a body of work. So sometimes you can't really appreciate an artist until you see the entire body of work, because I'd seen Yanni's art prior to this on a piece-by-piece basis. I'd never seen the whole body of work. And the body of his work is extremely impactful, because you see the progression from when he was young, when he first started out painting, and his interest in art, and as he developed his passion and his goal. And so in my notes, what I was noticing is, I think the basis of his entire trajectory was his journey. His journey was to confront, his journey in confronting death, or confronting his fear of death, and all the different relationships he personally had with death, whether it be someone he loved who passed away, his own fear of death. At one point, he even seems to be taunting death. There's an imperative sentence there, which it's almost like he's joking at this point with death. So as you see his fear of death early in his career, as he got older, it's almost like he's developed a relationship with death, and it's not a scary relationship anymore. It's a more, growing into sort of an acceptance, but sort of a challenge to death. And then, so he came up with this imperative, but I believe that he was probably at some point just sitting there pondering about how he could beat death or cheat death. There are different things you can do to death. And I think he was probably thinking, beat death, cheat death, greet death. You can greet death, you can meet death. He was probably playing in his head with different things. And at some point, he landed on the word eat death, because all of the others are kind of things that we've heard before. He beat death when he was able to escape the train, the oncoming train, or, and you even do see in one of his self-projective identification works where he talks about that, and his goal was to beat death, and not physically, obviously, but his he was trying to find a way to beat death. His conscious self was going to beat death. I don't know how devout he was or not. I don't know if he believed in God. I feel he was an agnostic. Again, that's my own invention. I knew Yanni, but not on a deep, 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 profound level. But I did know some things about him. So I don't recall ever speaking about him, about God, but I get the feeling that he was an agnostic for some reason. I'd have to confirm that with his family. But in any case, where was I going to go? Okay, here we were talking in one of his self-projective identifications. He shows about the different ways that one can pass on, either by choice, by extinction, by different ways of going extinct. I apologize, and we've got to find that. See here, he is very more. Here he talks about death, but in a more direct sense. Afraid of dying. I'm afraid of dying. I'm afraid of dying. So is repeated over, reiterated. Again, the reiterations are in all of his eras, in all of the periods where he's worked. But there's one in particular I recall where he's talking about the different ways, the different relationships with death in a way. I just wish I could find it. Well, if I don't find it now, I'll find it later and I'll put it in the screenshot. Okay, here's one that's pretty morbid sounding. But it's saying either I kill my body or I go on existing until my extinction. So you either kill your body, but he talked about, he knew the body would die. He wasn't denying that. But he didn't believe that his consciousness would die. He felt he could beat that extinction from this earth, longing, self-deception, you have to make your own sense out of it, because a lot of these self-projective identification pieces talk about death. Here at a square, an oval, a circle, death of a painter. I named it that, but the reason I gave it that name is because it's something in there that says those words. The painter died, before completing. Now, Yanni made this long before he died. He made this painting, unless, but there's the oval shape, and there's the square, and see the square. It kind of looks like a bloody crypt. Again, when something is square, it's symbolizing. It's often black and red in the middle, red, and it makes me think of death. And then here you have the green again. See the little bit of green. There's a lot of black, white, yellow, red, and a touch of green there. If we go on, and again, these are all a mishmash of different periods. Here's the black the black, red, white, and yellow again, but in a more scattered, abstract way. And it just says, I am. And you can't see what it says as much as when you go backwards.
And I just saw
and then we
something
have the restricted exhibit
in
that
that
I'm working
picture
on
that I'm going to
now.
look at later.
That one has, and I haven't finished uploading
I
everything.
saw some other words in that one.
They continue the progression from the elements we see here. You know, here, this looks like a portrait, looks like a self-portrait of Yanni to me, with the eye. You know, the one eye appears to be working, it's yellow. Then the other eye could be his non-functional eye. But there's the red. Okay, here we have kind of a peachy color, which reminds me of his Caucasian skin. All right. And then the cutouts. Okay, the protruding eye, what have we missed? Void is a medium. Nails or nail-like forms. See, when you go through, you'll see. Here, look at this. This is what makes me feel he did several referencing religion or religious images. This one, to me, I mean, it doesn't take a stretch of the imagination. It looks like a coffin, some kind of coffin, and you're in the mirror. So whoever is looking at this artwork sees themselves in the mirror, and they are the artwork. They become a piece of the artwork with the nails. Now these nails are yellow, and notice the nails are no longer with the sharp edge pointing in. It's with the flat edge pointing in on this one. So could they be the eyes looking inward rather than the eyes injuring inward, or the nails injuring inward? Yeah, these all have the flat ends inward, where in other pieces you'll see the sharp edge inward. And I'm feeling that they are eyes because of what I mentioned earlier. And then the other one that's more interesting, same one here. We all become extinct. This is more bringing us more into it. We all are going to go through this. Silent extinction. Again, I named it that. I don't know if that's the real name. And once we see the backs of the artwork, we'll know. At the things you look at here, please send us questions to the email or on the form. Please RSVP to come to the exhibit in May. But here,
the email on the website.
The viewer can interact.
Sorry,
with
guys.
The artwork.
I'm going to stop this for a second. Well, that's all right.
We become the artwork.
At the end of this, I'm going to go to the website and I'm going to add
nails,
the email.
Again, the nails are with the flat end in. But then we also have some nails with the sharp edge in. So we have both here. But for me, when the flat edge is outward, it's supposed to be an eye. And when the sharp edge is sticking in, it's, you know, it has more to do with injury and then I'd love to go into more detail on the restricted exhibit, but I'm not going to show that here. You'll have to either sign up for the website to see those. But there's a definite progression in his body of work, and it's all cohesive. So if you see one, you just travel along his life and you see the cohesive journey he took towards his, I feel he achieved his eventual acceptance of death. And I feel he achieved what he appeared to be striving for, that his consciousness remain. Because the messages that came to me through the artwork are not things that I would have come up with myself, ever. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm not one of those impassioned, artistic, you know, I might have a hyper personality or whatever, but I don't think up these kind of explanations for art. I'm not an art person. So for me to react so strongly to this, there's something there. And I honestly feel that Yanni was somehow sending me these messages as I was going through his artwork and telling me things, you know. So while on the one hand, one of course will develop their own perceptions and their own beliefs of what Yanni's message was, some of those things I certainly could not have come up with myself. So here we have an imprisoned cross. I mean, that has very more obvious, and that's the thing. There are also levels because you have the obvious, Yanni's struggle with his faith, perhaps. I mean, it's a very surface level explanation, but there's always another level. There's always something else that you discover if you keep looking at it, particularly the more developed pieces. Here we have white nails. That wasn't just an accident. Those nails are white for a reason. Okay, thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the website, and I am going to do a part 3. This one didn't even scratch the surface. How to dress well on a budget. Okay, that would be me. Okay, the website is at Wix.
With Wix, you can...
Oh, because of that program, the commercials. But I really love Wix. If any of you is thinking of making a website, you can make a free website on Wix if you're willing to. Wix will use your space to make advertising. If you pay, you can get the ads off. So I paid because, it's not that much on a yearly basis. But what I want to do is here, I'm going to edit the site now. It's pretty easy. I have it at a higher level because I know a little bit of coding. So you have 3 levels at Wix. You can have it on the super simple level, which is people who know nothing about computers, and you can build a website. Then they have a medium level where you're comfortable with computers, but you don't know deep, programming. And that's really my level, the mid-level. But I stretched it to the higher level because I wanted to do the page with this categorized page, and so it's a little bit of a struggle for me at the higher level, but I figure I'll work towards it. And I'm actually getting more comfortable with it. You have to push a little bit outside of your comfort zone with anything you do, I think. It's taken a while to load. But what I wanted to do on the main page, menus and pages, I have some pages that are not visible, but where was I going to put it? Well, on any of these, I'll go to the About Yanni page. And then I'll put the I'll put the email up there. Close that. I think I'll put it over here. See, it's only disturbing until you understand it. That came to me after I started looking at his artwork, because the first time I saw it, and I think that's the case with many people, it's disturbing is the word for it. Let's see, Control V. Oh, I didn't copy it. Oh, yes, I did. Okay, I'm going to change the words inside. So you kind of move it. You make a text box. Oh. And Wix even lets you know if it's lined up properly. I'm going to move it over here. Maybe move it up a little. Here I'm using the arrows to move it around, so it moves more slowly. Okay. And then I'm going to put the email here, although it's blocking that thing. So. And the email is just Yanni's Art. It's a little slow. Exhibit, I think it's my Wi-Fi. At gmail.com. So people want to write in with questions. Although there's a form in there, an RSVP form, but you can use the RSVP form, which if you click on this one, attend the exhibit on May 4th. And you can, if you have any questions, you can fill that out. So publish. Okay, guys. So I'm going to go back to this. Is that good? Yeah, I published it, right? Did I? Let me publish again just to be sure. I click on publish. Yeah, and it's published. All right. There. I already saved the changes, so there. And now let me see if I can pull up the chat. Wait a minute. Here, the Google Hangouts. It would be this one. And oh, nobody's chatting. That's okay. Let me know, guys, in the comments below if you want me to open a chat. Maybe this is something I should actually do on the other channel, on the actual Yanni's art exhibit channel. I could open up a chat, and then I on the screen will put his pieces, and we could discuss, or whoever wants to join, we'll have a discussion of the artistic meaning of his paintings, etc. I really want people to experience what I did, and maybe people won't. Not all art is for everybody, but I've really enjoyed my journey through Yanni's art exhibit. Okay, well, talk to you guys soon. I'm really sleepy. I know it's early, but I want to go lie down and read a book or something. Or fall asleep. Bye-bye. Good night. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.